Okay, so those are the things that it produces. Okay, so now let's go ahead and plot. So we need two lines, right? So take a look at that. So you need a line for cumulative y, cumulative actual y. Okay, and then we need this baseline, which is the average. Those are the two lines we want. So the lift line, okay, is the line for the lift and the line for a baseline. Those are the two lines that we need. The data for plotting the lift line, okay, the cumulative value, you want x-axis to be cumulative observations. So that is your QME.OBS. Then y-axis is a cumulative y value, and you can do this in a couple of different ways. You can take the cumulative y bar and multiply by cumulative n. Okay, or you can take the percentage and then multiply by the grand total. Either of them will work. So let's look at that code. Okay. Okay, so we want the y values and x values. Okay, so we have Toyota gains, right? And let's say cumulative mean response. So that is your, as you go down, cumulative mean. Okay, and you multiply that with cumulative observations. Okay, so mean times observation is going to give you the total. So this is going to give us the cumulative sum of y. And x is cumulative observations. Cumulative observation. Okay. Now this is going to start with, if you run this code, and you'll see, okay, let's run this code, and you see the x doesn't start with 0 and y doesn't start with 0. So the origin point is not there in the x and y. Okay, so we can add that, add starting point x equal to 0, y equal to 0. So how are we going to do that? So we append the value 0 to the vector x, and we do the same thing to vector y. Okay. So now we have two vectors, one vector of x values and one vector of y values. X value is simply number of observations, y value is the cumulative value of sum of y, cumulative y. Okay. Now we need this as a data frame for ggplot to work. So let's call this xydf data frame, right? And we call it x equal to the x vector, y equal to the y vector. Okay. So this will, I have two. Okay, so now we have xy dot df. Okay, so we've added the starting point 0, and then we have 572 observations. That's in the gains table. Okay. Now we need the baseline. Okay, baseline is just what? 2 points that needs to be connected. You have the 0, 0 point, and then you have the ending point. So those 2 points need to be connected. That's our baseline. So all we need is baseline, and this needs to be a data frame as well. So data frame, okay, and we have the x values. So what are the x values? X values are, the first x value is 0, the second x value is the number of observations. So we already have that. Well, no, we don't have that. We need to do n row of valid.df. Okay. So that will give you, okay, so we need x and y column, right? X column, the first x value of the first point and x value of the last point. So those are the two values. Okay. And then y is equal to, again, the first y value is 0, the last y value is the sum of valid df price. That's the last y point. Cumulative y will, that point will be the total of all of the y's. Okay. Now run that. So now we are ready to run the chart. Okay, so we'll come back to the scales in just a second. Okay, so we have ggplot. Okay. So we're going to plot two lines. There are two data sets, right? There is xy.df and then there is baseline.df. So we're not going to put a data set in ggplot. We'll do that in the geom. Okay. So geom line. So here we have to specify data equal to, okay, so geom line, we're going to use this data set, and the AES is x equal to, in this data set xy, the column names are x and y. So x equal to x, y equal to y. So that will give us the baseline, right? I'm sorry, that will give us the cumulative line. And we do another one, geom line, data equal to baseline dot df. So that's the second line. Okay, and again AES is x equal to x, y equal to y. Now if you run, so you get the cumulative lift chart, or what we call gains chart. Okay. Now you see the y-axis values are in scientific notation. Okay. So to change that, we can use the scales library. So, well, library scales, and that has some options with which we can control the scale. So here we have plus, we need to use, this is for y-axis, so scale y continuous. And there is a similar parameter for x-axis. So that will be scale x continuous. So we say labels equal to comma. And this labels equal to comma will work only if you have the scales library attached. So now we have